I'm hoping this short video can serve as a learning tool to those who would experiment with tequila. For me, it all started here with my wife Maggie looking through a couple of bottles in a little shop in Tulum. I told her I was interested in possibly picking up a bottle of the Mezcal Tequila, the stuff with the worm.
Okay.
So this is what you'd expect from a standard North American tequila. Kind of tastes like modeling glue or something like that. Not a great fan of it. I've already started on the Mezcalita tequila there, and it's a bit like Scotch, like a fine single malt Scotch. There's a certain special thing to it there, which I suspect might be the whatever that plant is that they make it out of.
Agave.
Agave, is that the word?
Agave.
Yeah, so it's got that certain something almost like the peatiness and Scotch to it. So I'll keep you posted. So tequila buzz just kind of sneaks up on you, and I suspect I may have had a little too much and maybe taught the locals something about flamenco. And I guess I found this picture on my camera, not even sure how it got there. So as the sun rose and just the most terrible headache started, and I sat up and I find myself sitting there on the beach, and oddly enough, all around me there's a turtle track. I mean, how would a turtle know I wasn't a rock or a deck chair? So when he reaches me, or she, it just cuts off to the right, crawls around me and lays the eggs. Now I'm not asking you to believe me, because it sounds pretty far-fetched. And maybe it is, but my point is, tequila does something to your attitude. I guess it erodes you from within. You find a guy lying on the beach, would you trust him with your bank card? So in salvaging the day, Maggie and I pulled ourselves together and we headed off to the Sayan Khan Biosphere Reserve, and truly that was just fantastic. But more to the point, we learned a lot more about tequila on a trip that we did floating down a river through the estuary. Here we are, just checking out the lake, real shallow lake, Sayan Khan, where the sky was born. Looking at the various springs that lead into it through the bottom, and there's a real deep part around here. I don't know where it is. Having crossed the lagoon, we pulled in at this dock by this just incredible ancient building that is sinking into the swamp, and we entered the water, floated along through a mangrove swamp at quite an amazing speed, and amongst the fish and so forth. So all along I'm wondering if we're going to meet a crocodile or something like that, and fortunately not until the end. When we got out at the end, I actually did see one, but our guide Manuel is a connoisseur of tequila, so he told us a lot more about it.
A specific distillation process. Mezcal is coming from a different region. If this is tequila on the west-south coast, we have Oaxaca.
Okay.
And Oaxaca is the crib of Mezcal, which is coming from exactly the same plant, but it has a different distillation process.
Okay.
Mezcal is more rough, it's more flavor-rich, it's more like the flavor of the plant.
Harsh. It's more harsh.
Harsh.
Felt rough last night.
I like it when it's good quality. I like it more than tequila.
Yeah.
Right.
And the thing with the worm, in the past, the same worm that it was in the plant, it was taken and it was grilled, and they just put it in the bottle for something like a month, and then they take it out. And this worm is what was going to give to this liquor the flavor, like the smoky plant flavor.
Oh, I see.
That's kind of...
It's the flavoring.
I said last night it tasted like Scotch, like with peat in it.
It did actually. It
That
tasted
is
very
really
much
nice.
like Scotch.
But unfortunately, with the commercial branch of Mezcal, they just do the process very fast,
Right.
and not as they should. And the worms are coming from a farm of worms, so they are not really in the plant.
Yeah.
So it's just a show for the
Don't
people.
eat the worm.
And with the Mezcal, you can find today worms or scorpions or
really?
snakes, yes, and some spring breakers. think that is a macho thing
Eat it.
to eat it.
Oh.
I was going to do that actually. I was going to be macho.
Oh. Ew.
It's a
Taken
myth.
Yeah,
Excellent.
exactly.
It's a myth.
Yeah.
It's a myth.
And I always thought it was like that was the poor man's tequila.
Yeah.
I'm going to
It
test
was all
that
an
tonight.
act.
But
a
it
little
makes
bit left
sense
in the
because
worm.
once you are drunk enough to eat the worm, of course the big buzz is
You'll
coming
eat
with the
anything.
worm, no? Well, roasted coffee beans covered with dark chocolate,
I like it already.
and then you have the tequila shot, and you put 3 of these in the bottom,
And so you eat them at the end
and
of
you
your drink.
just sip it.
Oh.
Just enjoy.
And
No,
I like that.
you just leave it at the end,
I
so
like
it's
that.
like the hard black chocolate. It's
Yeah.
taking a little bit of flavor of the liquor, and you have the roasted coffee. And at the end, you just hit and got this coffee with chocolate, which is it's like explosion, and it's like no.
Now my point is, you can go out and buy yourself a bottle of Mezcal Tequila with the worm in it, and you can drink half the bottle or whatever you want to drink, the whole bottle, I don't know, and you're in for a wild ride. So whether you wake up having seen the turtles, communed with the lizards, been covered in snakes, no matter what, it's going to be a memorable experience, and it certainly was for me. I strongly recommend you buy a bottle of Mezcal Tequila when you're visiting Mexico and drink it at night beneath the stars. Remember a single thing about your trip, but I guarantee till your dying days you will definitely remember the following morning.